There's been a lot of noise around the US and Israeli strikes on Iran's nuclear facilities. But here are three things that you need to know. Number one, Iran's nuclear program was hit hard. Let's start with the most obvious question. How much damage was done? The honest answer is substantial, but we don't know yet the full extent. What we do know is this. Israel and the US targeted and struck hundreds of sites across Iran. That included nuclear facilities of all types, military infrastructure, symbolic regime sites, and key personnel. Senior Iranian scientists and commanders were killed. Satellite images illustrate the scale of destruction. Anti-aircraft batteries, the systems designed to shoot down incoming jets, drones, or missiles, were crippled. And Iran's most advanced systems, like the Russian-made S-300s, were destroyed. That leaves Iran virtually defenseless against any enemy from above, a sitting duck. Unless it rapidly rearms with Russian or Chinese help, Iran has no serious way of stopping another aerial assault. The US also dropped 14 MOPS, massive ordnance penetrators, which are essentially mega bunker busters to damage the underground nuclear facilities at Natanz and Fordo. Even if they didn't completely destroy those sites, the damage there is most likely substantial. Conservative estimates suggest the program has been pushed back months. Other informed assessments say years. That's huge when Iran was believed to be just days away from completing key components of its nuclear weapons program. Number two, the US strike on Iran was historic and legally justifiable. Just for context, Israel is the only country which has preemptively struck a nuclear threat, in 1981 against Iraq and in 2007 against Syria. But this is the first time the US has ever preemptively struck a nuclear threat. Why does this matter? Well, because for decades, the world's response to nuclear violations has been sanctions issued from the UN Security Council. And that's it. The Non-Proliferation Treaty, the NPT, came into force in 1970 to stop the spread of nuclear weapons. Countries that signed it agreed not to pursue weapons in exchange for peaceful access to nuclear energy. Iran signed it, and Iran violated it many times over, but was declared in non-compliance of the NPT only twice. The IAEA, the UN's nuclear watchdog, officially found Iran in breach in 2004 and again in 2025. That should have triggered consequences against Iran, yet diplomacy and sanctions haven't stopped Iran from progressing towards the atomic bomb for 2 decades now. One of the worst oppressive regimes in the world, North Korea, broke the same treaty. No enforcement. Now it has nukes. Iran was following the same playbook and for once, someone drew a red line and enforced it. Number three, the diplomacy argument is over. Some world leaders and analysts have pushed for diplomacy as the answer. More talks. But let's be clear, Iran has been in diplomatic negotiations for 23 years, with the UN, with the EU, with the US, with everyone. And from day one of all agreements, it lied. After signing the JCPOA in 2015, Iran was supposed to come clean about its nuclear weapon work. Instead, it continued secretly developing nuclear weapons and kept the Nuclear Archive, a collection of files, blueprints, and plans detailing how to build nuclear warheads. How do we know this? Because in 2018, Mossad broke into a warehouse in Tehran and stole the documents. Netanyahu later presented them publicly. The files were part of the Ahmad Plan, Iran's secret program to build 5 bombs. It's basically a cookbook for making nuclear weapons. Even when Iran appeared to follow some parts of the agreement, like filling the core of the Arak plutonium reactor with cement, it secretly removed vital parts of it first and hid them. Iran didn't just breach the deal, it violated it in ways that showed clear intent to deceive. It expelled UN inspectors, removed cameras, blocked sensors. And if you're doing everything by the book, why do you need to hide your actions? There's no credible case left for more diplomacy. Iran was never negotiating in good faith. So here's the bottom line. The strikes against Iran have caused serious damage and bought the world precious time. It was a historic step in enforcing global nuclear rules, and the extent of Iran's nuclear development has exposed the limits and failures of 2 decades of diplomacy. This wasn't about politics, it was about preventing one of the world's most dangerous regimes from acquiring the world's most dangerous weapons. And in that sense, it may have changed history.